There will be no quick video editing or flashy edits here, only useful practical information. And remember, the last point that we will consider is the most important. Enjoy the video. If you use credit cards, stay with this video until the end, because the last part explains the easiest way to avoid paying a lot more than you expect. Credit Card APR sounds technical, but it is one of the most important numbers you need to understand if you want to keep your debt under control. In the United States, millions of people use credit cards every day without really thinking about how interest works until the bill starts growing faster than they expected. That is where APR comes in, and once you understand it, you will make much smarter money decisions. APR stands for annual percentage rate, and it is basically the yearly cost of borrowing money on your credit card. If you carry a balance instead of paying it off in full, APR determines how much extra you will owe over time. A card with a high APR can become expensive very quickly, especially if you only make minimum payments. That is why two people can spend the same amount on the same card and end up with very different total costs. One of them pays the balance quickly, and the other lets interest pile up month after month. The first and easiest way to avoid high interest is to pay your statement balance in full every month. If you do that, you usually avoid interest altogether on new purchases. That is the smartest habit you can build with a credit card because it lets you use the card without turning it into long-term debt. The second way to protect yourself is to know your grace period. A grace period is the window of time after your statement closes when you can pay your balance before interest starts applying to new purchases. Many cardholders do not realize how valuable that window is until they lose it by carrying a balance. Once you start carrying debt, you may lose some of that flexibility and interest can begin hitting harder than expected. The third way to avoid high interest is to stop treating the minimum payment like a solution. The minimum payment is only the smallest amount you must pay to stay current, not the amount needed to escape debt quickly. If you only pay the minimum, most of your money goes toward interest instead of reducing the principal balance. That means your debt can stick around much longer than you thought. The fourth way to save money is to compare cards before applying. A card with rewards may look exciting, but if the APR is high and you carry a balance, those rewards can be wiped out fast. In some cases, a lower interest card is a much better choice than a flashy rewards card. The best card is not always the one with the biggest bonus. It is the one that fits the way you actually spend and repay money. The fifth way to avoid high interest is to pay attention to balance transfer offers only if you understand the details. Some cards offer a low introductory rate for transferred balances, which can help you save money while you pay off debt. But these offers often come with transfer fees, deadlines, and higher rates after the promotional period ends. If you use them carefully, they can be helpful. If you ignore the fine print, they can create a new problem. Another important thing to remember is that APR can vary depending on your credit profile. People with stronger credit scores often qualify for lower rates, while people with weaker credit may get hit with higher interest. That is why improving your credit can help you in more than one way. It can lower your borrowing costs and give you more options. If you want to avoid high interest long-term, the biggest strategy is simple: spend less than you can pay off. A credit card should be a payment tool, not a monthly survival plan. The moment you start relying on it to cover routine spending you cannot repay, APR becomes a much bigger problem. So the real secret is not just understanding APR. It is building habits that keep APR from hurting you in the first place. Pay in full when possible, know your grace period, avoid the trap of minimum payments, compare cards wisely, and read the fine print on balance transfers. If you follow those steps, you can use credit cards without letting interest take control of your finances. And if you watched until the end, you now understand that APR is not just a number on a statement, but a warning sign that tells you how expensive debt can become if you are not careful.